courtroom is supposed to be a place where facts win. Evidence is presented, witnesses testify, and jurors listen carefully. Then 12 strangers deliberate and decide what really happened. In theory, the system is rational, but occasionally a case appears that forces investigators to confront a deeply uncomfortable possibility. What if one of the most convincing forms of evidence in the courtroom is also one of the least reliable? This story begins with a man named Paul Skalnik. I'm Jess, and this is Private Eye Cortex. And you're watching The Mind on Trial.
Case file opened. Subject, Paul Skalnik. Criminal history includes fraud and deception offenses, later used as a witness in multiple criminal trials.
Skalnik wasn't a detective. He wasn't a forensic scientist. He wasn't even present when the crime occurred. He was a prison inmate, and yet prosecutors relied on him to deliver one of the most powerful pieces of testimony a jury can hear: a confession. According to Skalnik, another inmate admitted to committing murder while the two were incarcerated together. The jury believed him, the defendant was convicted, and eventually that defendant faced execution.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. A man's life may depend on a story told by another prisoner?
Yes.
That seems structurally risky.
To understand jailhouse informants, you first have to understand something about prison culture. Inside prison walls, information has value. It can be traded, bargained, sometimes it can even buy freedom. Imagine two inmates sharing in the same cell block. One of them approaches investigators and claims another prisoner confessed to a serious crime, and suddenly investigators have something extremely valuable: a confession, even if it's secondhand.
Common incentives offered to jailhouse informants include reduced sentences, dropped charges, improved prison conditions, legal privileges.
So basically, information becomes prison currency.
Exactly. And when freedom is at stake, stories become extremely valuable. But here's the part that jurors rarely see: the negotiation behind the scenes. Instead, they hear something simple.
He confessed to me.
Confessions feel powerful. They feel final. In many cases, the moment that a jury hears that a suspect confessed, the entire story of the case begins to shift. But the Skalnik case revealed something investigators hadn't expected. He wasn't the only informant operating this way. Across the United States, jailhouse informants have appeared in hundreds of criminal trials. Different defendants, different crimes, but sometimes the same witness appears again and again.
Wait, the same guy just keeps overhearing murder confessions?
According to testimony, yes.
That's not a witness, that's a career.
In some cases, jailhouse informants effectively become professional witnesses. They testify repeatedly across different trials, each time presenting a similar story. A defendant confessed, and because confessions carry extraordinary psychological weight, jurors often accept the testimony. But this leads to a deeper question: why? Why would jurors trust testimony from people who may have strong incentives to lie? To answer that question, we have to leave the courtroom and look at the inside of the human brain. Forensic psychologists study how jurors interpret evidence. Researchers examine how people evaluate testimony and construct narratives about what happened. One discovery appears again and again. Confessions are uniquely powerful.
Even if the confession is secondhand?
Yes, and the explanation may lie in an ancient cognitive shortcut. For most of human history, people lived in small communities. False accusations carried enormous risks. If someone publicly admitted guilt, it usually meant something serious had happened. Over thousands of years, the human brain developed a simple rule: confession equals truth.
Ancient tribal psychology, running inside modern courtrooms.
Exactly. But modern legal systems allow confessions to appear in ways our ancestors never encountered. Sometimes through interrogation, sometimes through coercion, and sometimes through the testimony of another inmate. Especially in serious criminal trials, including capital cases, prosecutors want evidence that helps secure convictions. Jurors want a story that makes sense, but incentives inside prison create powerful motivations for some inmates to, well, fabricate confessions. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm Jess, and that's Private Eye Cortex, and this has been an episode of The Mind on Trial. And if you had fun or learned anything new, do me a favor. Give me a comment, like, subscribe, share, do all the stuff, since the algorithm is tricky, but with your help, we can beat it. Until the next time, remember that social justice belongs to all of us, and with the right thinking and keeping our hearts in the right places, we can create change together.
Another case file closing tonight. Truth in the shadows bring it to light. Witnesses talking, stories unwind. Evidence tested inside the mind. Confessions whispered, deals on the side. Psychology shows what people might hide. Follow the science, question the file. Welcome back to Mind on Trial. Mind on Trial. Follow the clues, separate facts from courtroom views. Every Sunday we're back again, breaking down the truth within Mind on Trial. Step by step, evidence beats a wild suspect. Truth comes out after a while. That's the game on Mind on Trial. Jurors listening, weighing the tale. Memory bending when stories prevail. Bias and pressure shaping the scene. Not every confession means what it seems. Down in the pasture by the old fence line, Luna the donkey's keeping good time. Willie the goat thinks justice is style. Cheering the cases on Mind on Trial. Mind on Trial. Follow the clues, separate facts from courtroom views. Every Sunday we're back again, breaking down the truth within Mind on Trial. Step by step, evidence beats a wild suspect. Truth comes out after a while. That's the game on Mind on Trial. Files and theories on the board tonight. Brains and evidence shining the light. From the lab to the courtroom, we're chasing the truth on Mind on Trial. Mind on trial, case by case, science helping truth keep pace. Every Sunday, stay a while, another mystery, a mind on trial.